You're listening to the Media Man Dan Podcast. Promoting people with passion all over the globe. Interviews every weekend. Album reactions every month. This is your host, Media Man Dan. Let's rock! What's up, guys, and welcome to the Media Man Dan Podcast. Today is an absolutely epic day full of absolutely epic guests, and that is Alex and Brad returning from the incredible band Against the Sun. I absolutely love these dudes. They rock SoCal to the core, and they brought a cat with them to give us a little bit of sensitivity here. I'm so excited to talk about everything that they had coming out this year, and I did not know that it was going to be a full EP. I was expecting the single, and this single is heart-wrenchingly hard to listen to. So if any of you guys are not feeling the subject matter, I don't blame you, but I would really recommend you stick around for the rest of it because we're going to have an overall uplifting, positive message at the end of all of this. Either way, welcome back, Brad and Alex, to the podcast. How you guys doing today?
Dude, we're doing great, man. I like can't even match your level of energy right now because that was amazing. But no, it's an absolute pleasure to be back here. We're happy to hang out with everybody and talk about all of the shit we've done this year.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year for us, but yeah, super stoked to be back here, and yeah, I'm glad that you like the new stuff, man.
yeah, it means a lot.
Oh man, liking is a very small word when it comes to the way that I listen to music. I have to love it, or I have to see something that can be turned into something absolutely amazing. And you guys did both. I love it, and it's amazing, and it's so easy to go through. The transition of every single song, going from the first haunting track, which is not even technically music, going into one of the hardest to listen to, and then going into the video games cover, getting the vibe of that darker, sinister energy, but then lifting it up to this really like well-known chorus that we've all heard many times in pop radio, giving it a different twist, and then going into a metalcore song, straight up Bullet for My Valentine, Killswitch Engage era metalcore, and finishing off with one of the most impressive songs you've ever made, Ashes. I cannot praise the album Light enough this year. This is the unbelievable brand new EP that you guys should go and check out. It is definitely playing in the intro for this video. Do not worry.
Thank you, Dan, for appreciating the order of the songs. I feel like that is lost on many people, and I appreciate you for it.
Oh yes, I was so happy because I was like, if I played this out of order, I don't feel like it would have the same impact. I feel like what would happen is you get track one, which is a spoken word, and then you go into your metalcore song, and it wouldn't fit. It wouldn't fit. No. So it has to be played from beginning to end. All of you guys listening right now, go and listen to it. It's in the description right down below. Follow this band. You will be nothing less than overjoyed when new stuff comes out from them. That's what I will say, is like you get, it's like a birthday, but you're opening a present every time that these guys release something.
That's awesome, man. Thank you.
No problem.
Really. That's cool, dude.
No problem, guys. So my biggest thing that I was talking about before the chat with these guys is that I have a brand new shirt here, and you guys should go and get some merch as well. This is just basically promoting them because they deserve it, and also because I know that all of their funds are going towards fantastic music as well as probably very serious things that we will discuss more in this interview. But also, you guys, they have CDs. Like CDs.
We do.
This is important. This is keeping us alive.
For the people that actually still use CDs, that it like, and there's a lot of them out there. Again, when we go to play like smaller towns like Apple Valley up here in California, there are people who are like, I don't use Spotify, where's your CD? And we're like, oh fuck, all right, well, so we had to make some CDs for them. So
yes, and it's perfect. Literally all of their EPs that are now public, I saw one of them went into private, and we'll discuss that as well. But I do like that you have all of your best work up front in one playlist that's on my specific Spotify right now, so that everyone can go and enjoy this evolution, because Against the Sun is going to be worldwide famous in the next couple of years. I can tell you their exposure has to grow. There is no possible way that music people, both producers, musicians themselves, and fans cannot say this is going to be one of the rising stars of SoCal.
If we keep making stuff like video games, which tends to be very popular, then we'll do it.
Ashes, I mean...
Yeah, Ashes is pretty good. Yeah. Is doing pretty well as well. But if you look at like what's doing well in the Spotify algorithm, it's definitely those two tracks. For now, anyway. We'll see how Light does, though. We'll see.
Hell, man, on the last album, the one that had zero marketing into it, Empty Space and Resentment, was doing great by itself.
Yeah, it was literally just the algorithm pushing that song.
It was weird. But it's so funny about the last EP is that like our absolute favorite song to play got like absolutely zero love.
It's at like 2,000 streams.
Like, it's got absolutely nothing on it.
It's the last track off the Silhouette EP, No Exit. That's like our favorite song to play live, but it's the one that like almost no one knows.
Yeah. Oh my god. So it's like there's always a conversation before like when we're practicing for shows like, hey yo, should we play No Exit? It's just like,
but it's hard because it's like a 7-minute song, right? Yeah. So it's like you have to play it at the right kind of shows where we have the time to kind of dick around, you know.
Do you do it as an encore?
No, we usually do it as a closer for when we have 45-minute sets, because then you have more time to fill and you can play more songs. And if you go, those are usually like headlining shows. So if you go like one or two songs over, like it's not that big of a deal. Although I don't think we closed with it at our headlining House of Blues show. I don't think we did. I think we closed with Ashes.
We closed with Ashes. Well, because we were playing 3 new ones from this year.
Oh, that's right.
And we did play one really old one, Falling Apart, to fit in, and then we did like we played 2 old ones. We played Back to Ruin,
we tried to split it up into thirds between the Truth's Wake EP, the Silhouette EP, and then this everything we put out this year. It was supposed to be like a culmination of like everything that we did.
Because like a lot of our like at home fans, not necessarily like oh yeah, because like the old stuff like from Truth's Wake, like Falling Apart and like Search to Find, they don't have the best like numbers on Spotify or any of the streaming services. But like our like fans and family that we actually like talk to, they're like, when are you gonna play Chelsea Stud again? And it's like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know why we don't play it anymore, but I mean, we do know why. But I don't want to get into that.
But like when we did our Silhouette EP release show last year, it was like, it was our EP release show. We did like an encore song, and we let the crowd pick. And I was so surprised, out of like our whole catalog, they wanted to hear like One More Time.
Yeah, that was. Did we play One More
Time?
We
did. We played One More.
I don't remember. Yeah, I think I probably fucked it up a bunch. That's probably why I don't remember it.
And One More Time is one of your oldest tracks now. It's literally the first track on the playlist now.
It is the oldest song that is kind of out on streaming services now. But it's like, again, for those like core fans of ours at home anyway, they like, they've been with us for a while, so a lot of them really like the old stuff.
Wow. Well, I'm happy. That's actually a really good thing, because my favorite band was just playing in Chicago last month. And they decided to like completely ignore their best album. Like none of the songs off of their best album are played live, and this has been two
which
tours
band?
now.
What band?
Red, and they're not playing up Beauty and
Oh,
Rage at all. I'm like,
isn't
that's
that
like
the big? Isn't that the big one? Right?
one of them. I mean, it's a fan favorite. It's
Okay.
technically their best if you wanted to look at the technical talent and the amount of work and the amount of aggression and rage and at the same time beauty that went into it. You know, it fits the title. It's a perfect what can I say? It's a storytelling title and it's a storytelling album. Like you have to listen from beginning to end, much like your EP. Damn, that was a good transition.
Hey, he
Perfect
brings it back.
segue. Okay, so this new EP, The Light, is it The Light or just Light?
It's light.
It is Light. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I didn't want to say it wrong in the beginning. I was like, was it the? No, it's got to be Light. Okay, so
You're good.
Light is a brand new EP that consists of so many types of metal, so many types of writing styles, and so many haunting lyrics. Even the ones that they didn't write themselves are haunting just by the way that it's played. And that is once again back to their number one hit, I guess, right now, Video Games by Lana Del Rey. Like I had no idea that was coming out. And when I saw that and I reacted to it, I don't know if that's up yet. I'll get it up soon. I'll get it up very soon. It should be out on Halloween. That was like a mind-blowing experience for me. I was like, I did not know that you guys could pull off not only a cover of like a big song, but a cover of a song that is so not heavy, so not rocky, so not poppy in any way. It's just very somber, and you made it something epic. How do you guys feel overall on that one?
Thanks, man. Yeah, I have been a fan. Well, I've been a fan of certain Lana Del Rey songs for a long time. I wouldn't say I'm like a big Lana fan overall, just because most of her material is kind of whatever to me. But she has these songs like Video Games, like Honeymoon, like these really haunting tracks that I just absolutely love. When that song came out, I think I was about 16 or so. My girlfriend at the time showed it to me, and she was like the biggest Lana Del Rey fan of all time. And when I first heard the song, I thought to myself, this could make a really cool rock cover. All the way back then. And we had talked about doing a metal cover of a pop song for a long time. We figured out like at the end of last year, we wanted to do it, but we couldn't agree on what song to do. We were trying to pick one that like is a bit more current. But at the same time, like, pop music is really not one of my favorite genres. So it was a little tough to pick a pop song and have it be like, authentic and actually be cool. Like I didn't want to do it to where it was going to feel like we were doing it just to get views or be popular or whatever. Like I wanted it to be something real.
I wanted to do Flowers by Miley Cyrus.
I was gonna say Flowers would have been the biggest hit of that year if I think about pop music.
At the time, I think it was only like 3 or 4 months old when I suggested it.
Mhm.
But like, I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll do that.
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. But that was it. It has to make sense
Yeah.
because like when I first heard Video Games, because I'm not a pop guy. Like so when he suggested Video Games, I was like, I don't know about this song. Because I just couldn't think of where it would go. So it's interesting how when you listen to it, what it originally is, and then what we made out of it, it's like it's totally like yin and yang. They're just totally different songs. And at the time when I first heard it, I couldn't like imagine it. But then when we started actually piecing things together, it was starting to make sense.
Yeah, I was sitting with some time on my hands in February of this year, which is a rare occurrence for me. I'm usually doing shit all the time, but I was sitting around and I'm like, you know what? I've always kind of wanted to see how video games would translate on guitar. Let's do it. And it was really serendipitous because I had Connor's Helix with me at the time, which I don't normally have, but for whatever reason, I had it with me at the time, and it has the pitch shifter on it. And it just so happened that Video Games is in the key of F sharp minor. And I was like, okay, so I just like transposed it based on, my baritone guitar that's in drop B flat. And then I was like, oh, but like, what if we went for that like really low bottom drop F sharp? And I remember when I started playing around with the chords down there, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what we were trying to go for. It's very Sleep Token. It's very heavy, you know. And when I hit those chords, I was like, yeah, there's something here. Like there's something really kind of magical that we can grab here.
I love that it takes its time. That's one of my favorite things about the cover that you guys chose. I'm pretty sure that many other metal artists have probably covered it. Like when it was big, I'm no doubt in my mind that Our Last Night was on it or something like that. But I could say like the way that you guys build it as you go through the first verse, it's the subtle, easy going acoustic guitar kind of feel. But like I said many times now, it is very haunting. This whole EP is haunting, and it's so damn good because it's haunting. So when you hit the chorus, baby, now you do, it's like boom. You feel that now you understand why they chose this song out of all songs, and I mean it fits so well as your style, and then you just amplify it as much as it goes on. You can just hear how much of your style was just improving on what was already there, and I love that. It literally is your own, but at the same time is paying homage to Lana Del Rey's sound. So I mean, she would probably fuck with it. I mean, I think she's a metal fan. I don't know.
I think so too. And thank you, man. That really means a lot. I'm glad you enjoy the build up and everything, because I'll tell you, the fact that we exist in this like midpoint, you know, like sometimes we go full heavy and sometimes like BMM, right, where it's just like it fucking launches in. Yeah. But I'll tell you, like the fact that we have a chorus in that song that is sung and not screamed, that like turns off a certain percentage of the audience that is like, I don't fuck with singing at all. Right. And then like the fact for this video games cover, how we like spent a minute and a half until you have a distorted guitar, that was enough to turn a lot of folks off immediately. Like they just heard it and they were like, you know what, this isn't for me, whatever. So like, but ultimately like didn't fucking matter. It ended up becoming our biggest song so far. So like whatever. But I think more people are understanding it and like they get it than the people that don't. But I remember when we were first pitching this to playlists and curators and all that stuff when it came out, it didn't do super well right off the bat because it was different. It was, you know, and sometimes people say they want different, but sometimes people don't want different, you know?
It's funny though, because what we've noticed from the curators or playlist people on Spotify and stuff is they all want like either a song that is straight up aggressive the entire time or a song that is straight up mellow the entire time. Yes. It's very hard to like there are, of course, we get on a lot of playlists that like actually understand what the hell our songs are supposed to be like. But like there's a good like almost silent majority or silent minority that's like just they just like, I need it to be this or it's this. Like it can't, there's no ebb and flow with your, if there's an ebb and flow going on in the song, I don't fuck with it. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Like what the, you know, I don't know, grow a pair. What do you want? Right.
Yeah. I see. Here's the thing though, like they promoted the shit out of Sleep Token, and you were talking about them before, just because of the summoning, just because of the one poppy part that went TikTok heavy, and everyone was like, oh my god, I relate to these lyrics, and he sounds like Bastille, and I'm like, I don't want to hear Bastille on metal music, so yeah, sure, I guess he's pop, I guess, there we go, that's fine. And so when I actually heard the full song, I was like, oh, I hear what people like, okay. And a lot of people consider them like the newest thing in like metal and rock. And I'm like, they're Starset, Red, and Breaking Benjamin. What are you talking about? This isn't new. They have a Bastille vocal.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Honestly, it's weird. I don't really like a lot of their heavier stuff. I know that's kind of, but I don't know. His voice doesn't always work for me. But dude, like all of their ballads, I actually fuck with so hard. Like they have one off the record from a couple years ago called Bloodsport, and like, oh my god, dude, he like breaks down and cries at the end of the song, and I'm just like, yo, fuck me up, let's go.
Was that their 2022 release?
Yeah, it's the one with it's the like the white album with like the black figure in the middle.
God, that was such a hard one to listen to. Everyone was getting into them at that time, and I didn't feel anything towards the band, and I was like, oh, they're on next on my list. And so I listened to the album, and I was like, is it nap time? Is
no,
that what this is?
You know what's funny? I had the same reaction you did, because obviously like they kind of had the Ghost effect to me, and I love Ghost, but like, you know, they look heavy as fuck, and then you listen to your shit and you're like, oh, it's like heavier Imagine Dragons. Like, okay. But like, but then I like listened to it a couple more times. I still don't like most of the album, but I love Bloodsport, and I love I can't remember the song title right now, but it's the last track off the album, the big one. The like, the night goes down like heaven. Like, that one was so good. And they reprised that melody on their latest record. And I was driving to work at the time I heard it for the first time, and I literally started to like tear up on my way to work, because I was like, oh shit.
Damn, that is emotional.
So good.
I love that you brought up Ghost, because I saw this meme a while back, and like, yeah, when I first heard of Ghost, like, it was like, oh yeah, this band must be heavy as hell. But then they sound like, not generic, but it just sounds like that like traditional 70s, like
Black Sabbath
heavy metal.
Yeah.
But then I saw a meme that goes like Ghost looks like a black metal band, but sounds like Scooby-Doo chase music.
Yes. Yes.
Like, and then they leaned into that.
Oh my god, like, it's totally ruined like Ghost for me. Like, every time I listen to a Ghost song, I'm just thinking of Scooby-Doo.
It is the ba 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 ba.
Yeah,
that's like
it's just it makes so much sense. It just it makes sense.
See, I love Ghost though. I don't like a lot of their newer stuff. It's gotten a little too musical theater for me, but a lot of their older stuff I fuck with so hard. I think it's so good.
Do you like their cover of Phil Collins' Jesus He Knows Me?
I didn't even know that was a cover of a Phil Collins song.
All I gotta say is the video is not worth watching. That's all I'm gonna say. It depends. Maybe some people are into Hockey Bukkake, but I am not.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I know that song. Dude, Hannah put that on at like her birthday, and I was just like, the hell is this? And it was fun. It's a good song, but yeah, like,
dude, if Hannah watches this, she's gonna be so pissed we're like giving any sort of negativity towards Ghost at all.
Dude, I give it to her all the time. Ghost. Like, I just like, I don't get it as much as you do, but I'm happy for you.
We have a friend who's the photographer for one of our friends' bands called the Tox Hards, and she's like the biggest Ghost fan you've ever heard of in your entire life. Like, she is like so active in the fandom. She dresses up like the nun of and like fucking like goes to all these underground Ghost meetups. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, they created a cult. And I know it's only one dude. Like, it's crazy to me. It's like, you would think that this is multiple people. You would think it's a full band, but he only tours with a group of people. It's not actually in the studio. It's all him. And I'm like, well, of course the guy's gonna have a high ego. But if you mention him having a high ego, then the fans like attack you. So once again, my Rumble next year rants constantly gonna go after very big popular people just to, you know, ruffle some feathers. What can I say?
Dude, ruffle them. I will say, have you ever seen Ghost live?
I have not seen anything except for whatever they posted on YouTube.
Okay, so I will say seeing them live is really, really cool. Unfortunately, they don't play a lot of their old. They played like one older song,
Rats?
which. No, I'm talking older. No, they played Rats.
Okay,
I'm talking
Rats is like my favorite song.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking like older stuff.
Oh, like I don't even know.
Few
like,
albums
I don't even
kind
know
of
that.
stuff.
I don't even
like,
go that deep with them.
No, dude, some of that stuff from the early shit, that's where the satanic kind of vibes come in, and that's what I'm super into in Ghosts. So when they played like one old song, they had like the fire going and all this shit. I was like, fuck, like, this is what I live for. Like, I was like, and then they went back to the musical theater shit, and I was like, no. But I will say, they as whatever as it was, the dancers they hired were really fucking entertaining, and they were all really talented, and they had a celloist, a harp player, and a piano player that were only there for one song, but yet he hired live musicians to tour with him to play that one song. He could have easily put it on a track, but he was like, fuck it, we're doing this live. And I respect that hardcore.
Yes, I agree with that. And I need more cello in metal music, please, for the love of God. That's why I love Red so much, is because they use the orchestration in that sound. But yeah, no, like you said, if I go to a metal show and I hear pop music, I'm very concerned and very confused. My first metal show ever, I'm actually going to be doing a redo of it next year. I saw Bullet for My Valentine, and the openers were While She Sleeps and Asking Alexandria with Dennis. And I
Nice.
didn't get into deathcore. I didn't get into anything that was too heavy. I was just coming into metalcore as it is, and just like "You Want to Battle? Here's a War" was like what ignited my interest in it. And so I'm hearing the Black for the first time on stage, and I'm so incredibly confused as he's been doing these deathcore growls throughout the beginning of the song, and then he goes to this extremely poppy, uplifting chorus and bridge that is just insanely opposite of what I was listening to. I was like, I'm terrified. I was telling my friend, I was like, dude, I have no idea what this is. Like, what is this music? Because I was not a metalhead yet. 2016,
Dude,
Dan, totally different.
and then you joined the dark side.
And then I joined the dark side. Yeah, no, I can say I'm making it up for it. I'm gonna actually go and see them with full intention to hear as many screams as I can. August Burns Red is opening for them with Trivium.
Nice.
Dude, that's a fucking
That's stacked.
that's stacked.
That's what I'm saying. So I told my friends, I was like, we're going. It's April. We're going. It's a Saturday. We're going.
That's pretty much the only reason why I'm bummed I didn't go to When We Were Young is because August Burns Red it was playing this year. In case you didn't know, When We Were Young is that festival in Vegas where it's all pop punk and emo bands.
Yeah.
Last year was sick, but like this year it was like I didn't want to really go. But then I'm like literally the week before I'm like, oh shit, August Burns Red is playing. Like this would have been sick to go.
Yeah, the Constellations record from them was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's celebrating another year, I think, or I think it's celebrating 10 years, 20 years, something like that.
Oh, okay.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it's
sounds-
supposed to be an
Sounds
anniversary.
about right.
Yeah, it's amazing. I have it somewhere next to me here. That's
Yeah,
one
Brad's
of my
a
favorite
huge
albums.
August Burns Red fan. He
Yeah.
takes a lot of inspiration from them.
Awesome, awesome. Speaking of inspiration, so I did not know that Tim was originally part of the band, but I want to know what was he into for your first kind of sound? What did he contribute to the band?
Tim was the drummer. He wasn't technically the first drummer of Against the Sun. He was the second drummer of Against the Sun, but I think still at this point the longest serving drummer. We've only had like 3 drummers. It's interesting because we like in those really early days, like back when I was in college, like it was just kind of my thing that other people played in, and like we were going through a lot of different sounds. Like we used to be super super pop punk and stuff. I mean, you know our like really early shit. Like I would say that his taste really evolved over the years. When I first met him, I want to say he was really into like he was really into like the Ataris and that kind of like 90s and 2000s pop punk sound. He was always a big Avenged Sevenfold fan. That's like how we connected. But over the years he got really into like the metalcore sound and definitely into the gent stuff. Big Periphery guy. I think his favorite band is Ice Nine Kills.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Tim used to be similar to Connor in that he would spend just a crazy amount of time writing like really short fill, like the fill and One More Time going into the first verse. He spent like an hour and a half of band practice coming up with that fill, and it's sick as fuck, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, he would always come up with these very like weird, interesting parts in really early Against the Sun stuff, and so it was always really fun playing with him.
Yeah, no, that sounds very fitting too. For anybody that doesn't know, Avenged Sevenfold is probably one of the technically most challenging artists to play if you're not a very skilled drummer. Like you listen to Jimmy and you're like, holy fucking shit, how did he do this? And the guys that are now replacing him, whoever that is, like they are unbelievably talented as well. So I would imagine that whatever inspiration that band gives to people, like they're like, well, I have to be as good as Jimmy. So they're adding fills for hours on end and saying like, oh well, you know, it sounds great, but I think I could have gotten the
Yeah.
they just really get into it. And I like that you said that Connor is also in that same type of mindset. So he's adding fills, he's adding more to the songs when you guys are writing them, when you guys are recording. He's putting a lot of effort into it, and that's exactly what I would expect from one of the best bands.
Dude, I'll give Connor this, man. He always goes for it. It doesn't always work out, but he always goes for it, and you gotta respect the effort, you know.
A for effort.
It's funny though, like he like he remembers 95% of his stuff. Like his like it's usually the crazy fills is where like I don't remember what I did here. I'm like, you did this, and it's like, oh yeah, and then you like it's you just kind of have to remember him, and then you like it's like second nature after that.
So I'm the one that tracks drums with Connor, and I have to like hold his feet to the fire sometimes. So in the pre-chorus of Light, like there's the drum beat for it. It's like a ding, and it's very specific. You gotta like to crash ride, and then China, and like when he came up with that beat, I was like, Connor, that's sick as fuck, and I recorded it on my phone. And then when we went and recorded it in the studio, he wasn't playing it at all. And I was like, no, that's not what you wrote. Like, you wrote this. And I had to, like, he had to basically relearn his parts. He again, he like, if anything, he like flies too close to the sun sometimes. But like, you know, it's like the second verse of Light, you know, it's very like free form, you know, there's a lot of like pauses and stops, and it's just very loosey goosey with the time of it. He recorded like maybe 6 different verses that all sounded like way different from one another. And so when putting together the takes we wanted to use, it was like, okay, which verse do we basically want? Like, what kind of feel did we want? And I think we picked like one of the weirdest feels. Like there were other takes where it felt a lot more standard, a lot more like on the grid, but it just kind of worked his like really, I guess, more experimental drumming.
You're talking about the second verse,
the second verse, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he just because he didn't know what the hell he wanted to do. He just tried a bunch of shit.
Not like on like Connor. It was just more like it makes sense that like because when we play it, like when we practice it, it always sounds a little different.
Yeah, he never plays it the right way.
Because like it's funny because because the first verse it's very straightforward on the grid because it's just so. The rhythm section, me and Connor, like on the first verse, it's you know do 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 do. So it can be like a more straightforward drum beat. But then when we were writing, because Connor wanted to originally make the first verse, the bass on the first verse be the exact same as it is on the second verse, and I was like, no, we got to change that because everything else in the song sounds the same. Let's make the verses sound different. And he's like, okay. And then the verse, I basically like kind of mellowed it out instead of being super like notey. It was just more free flow. And then like it's funny when he tries to play it now that it's like just find the notes where it hits and then just stop. Like
yeah.
And it's fun to work with him on that though because like I never really tried to help write the drums because it's usually like I let him do his thing.
Yeah.
But like that was like one of the first times I was like, hey, how about this? I write the bass part for the second verse and you just kind of go with what I'm doing.
Love
and then
it.
like it's not like I wrote the drum part, but I basically told him you gotta play what I'm playing, man.
Yeah. Playing off of it with each other, like you're complementing each other. It's actually like I said, you guys are improving, you're evolving as a band, and you can just hear your sound is just getting better and better. And every time I think you've already reached your peak, you just overdo it. I'm amazed because I go from JAD, and I'm like, wait, this is insane. Like this is so much powerful lyrics that are just breaking me. I'm dying inside listening to these. At the same time, I'm listening to some insane percussion that I didn't expect as we're going through angelic vocals, specifically on Light. We're getting some almost djenty kind of guitar work. It's just very different and it works. And like you guys were talking about the sleep token effect and like everybody's doing this, like trying to make it alternative, but it works for you and you're not like outside of your normal sound. It's not like this isn't my band anymore. It's like this is just a new part of what Against the Sun is, and that's what I fucking love, man.
Dude, I'm glad you enjoy it, because the diversity of our sound has been a challenge because we're trying to cobble together like very different, like you said, very different sounds. And again, like sometimes it's like it's like you're trying to introduce your kid to a new vegetable or something. Like sometimes like fans are like, but I like this one thing that you did, and we're like, okay, but like we're not going to do that one thing over and over and over again, because that would be fucking boring, you know.
You know what I noticed though on these few songs, like this is the first time that we all like were actually happy with like, let's do this song as the next song. Because there were songs in the past where it's like, I don't know why, like there'd be one person that's like, I still don't think this song works, like
right,
whatever.
Right.
But this was the one like where like Lights, BMM, video games. I mean, at first, video games was tough. Video games was tough for all
I
of
had
us
to sell these guys on it so
video
hard,
games was
dude.
really hard to get us on board, but like it was more like after it was like fully mixed, then it was like, oh yeah, this fucks so hard. Like dude, it's because I couldn't imagine what it is.
It's so weird, because one of the latest additions in the songwriting process that honestly like made the song for me was the bass line.
That was so fun to write, because it's okay. I'm not trying to like stroke my own chain or anything, but usually my best bass lines are the ones I write like right on the spot, like because Connor came up with like this trap beat, and I'm like, oh, I know exactly what to play here, and I just busted it out right there. I'm like, that's it.
It's just like it's very groovy, almost like R&B, and like that's what that part needed. It needed a little bit of juice in there. Yeah.
Oh my god. And we keep going back to that cover, but we got to talk about the most important song on the entire EP, which is The Light. Light. There we go. See, I'm still putting the in front of things. The Against the Sun.
Against the Sun, Light.
So Light is the most recent single and is the title track of this album and is the most devastating song I've had to listen to this year. It is one of the most challenging not to feel like this is like a try not to react challenge for anybody. If you guys have react channels out there and you were a YouTuber that watched me and you want to try your own thing, do it to this song. This is the song for you. Show me that you don't need tissues after this shit, man. It is rough. It is rough to get through, and I really appreciate that artistry. That is absolutely unbelievable how you made your lyricism really touch the soul of the listener. And so, Brad, please tell me the story of how Light was created.
Thanks, man. Well, it means a lot, and it means a lot that you've connected with it so much. And, you know, I've had other friends of mine, friends of the band and stuff like that were like, yo, like, you don't even know how much, like, I needed this right now. And I'm like, that's exactly what we're here. Like, that's why we write shit that's serious and kind of dark and whatever. Not because we're, like, bummed out all the time, but it's like we want to be that kind of, like, shoulder to cry on in music form. Because that's how I got into Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace and Chevelle and Linkin Park and Slipknot. Like, they were that for me. So Light was originally Connor's song, and as far as music goes, we honestly didn't change a ton. Like, we changed a bass line, we changed like a little bit of the pre-chorus. Brad added some, like, of all things, some fucking like U2 lead guitar in the verses, which are dope, but like it really, like, musically it doesn't change. It's Connor had it written, and I want to say Connor found that, like, the voice clip from the intro track. I don't know where he found it.
So scary.
Yeah, it's that conversation with the woman and the doctor.
I think it's a little girl.
No, I think it's a woman.
I don't know, she sounds really young. That's why, to me, it's more haunting, because it's like a little girl, like, talking about how she tried to commit suicide. So that's why it's a little bit more like It hits me a little bit harder when it's played.
To me, it
If
almost
I
has
have
this.
that.
It almost has this like Wizard of Oz kind of thing to it. But anyway, like
It's very Alfred Hitchcock.
yeah,
Yes.
that's a great way
Yes.
of putting it.
Yeah.
So
I just watched Psycho for the first time, by the way.
you know, Addie just watched The Birds for the first time.
Dude, I gotta watch that too.
Dude,
man.
yeah. Oh,
Wait,
sorry.
Rear
Anyway.
Window? Have you seen
Sorry.
Rear Window? We're gonna go on a tangent now of Alfred Hitchcock. Holy
Yeah,
shit!
sorry. Well, I mean, you know, you got to respect the goat. Like, it is what it is. But anyway,
Yes.
so I think he found that voice clip and then wrote the song off of it. And so I already knew the subject matter coming into the song. I was like, okay, the song is going to be about suicide. And when I heard the music for it, it really struck a chord with me because it was so much of these influences that I had been wanting to put into metalcore for a really long time. It's like a little bit of emo, it's a little bit of shoegaze, it's a little bit of Deftones, Super Heaven, like grunge, or like, but even a little bit of that like Sunny Day Real Estate Midwest emo, which is all stuff that I really, really, really love. So I love the soundscape of it going into it. Connor tried to write the lyrics for it at first, and I'm gonna totally throw him under the bus here and expose him. He told ChatGPT
Oh my god.
to write a song about suicide, and he brought me the lyrics and was like, "Here, do something with them." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." And I threw them all out because like that's not how you write a song. But it got me thinking about it, and like.
That's horrible.
Is
That's so horrible.
it's so bad. So I threw all those out, and the thing that inspired me was the day that Chester died. I was at my internship at LA City Hall, and I remember how devastated I was, much like a ton of other people who Linkin Park means something to them, right? So I was devastated that whole day. It felt like I was walking around in zombie mode. And when I saw the video, I shared this to our story the day before Light came out. When I saw the video of Chester with his family 36 hours before he committed suicide, and it's him laughing and playing with his kids and smiling and all of this other stuff. And it's something that I read about with Robin Williams and other people, that like when someone has decided to finally do it, to finally, you know, commit suicide, they feel great. Like they feel like finally they're happy. Finally, it's like this weight lifting off their shoulders. Finally, they feel light. And so that's kind of where the idea came from, right? Is like, I feel so light. Like I feel like I can finally, like, you know, drift off into wherever we go, right? And so that was the inspiration. And then I kind of like built everything out from there. And it got the band members to talk about mental health and our mental health struggles in a way that I don't think we did before. And those conversations gave me more to work with lyrically. So even though I wrote all the words technically, like idea wise and emotions wise, it really kind of captures everybody's experience.
I remember when you came over to my mom's house, because I was dog sitting, and you had like pretty much the whole song. I think you were still working on like maybe the second pre-chorus, the part that I do. I mean, I do the pre-choruses. Like it was, remember we were talking about like personal like experiences as well, and it was just me and him in this scenario, and fuck, it got dark. Like we were talking about some dark ass shit, and like he said, he wrote pretty much all the words, but like when it came down to trying to find that absolute like pit of despair, it was like we had to have like that type of discussion. I'm so glad we changed one line though, because it sounds sick. The line that we had originally, it was just like and then we're like, no, we gotta change this, which we still fight on who actually wrote the line.
I wrote the line.
I wrote the fucking line.
I wrote the line.
I wrote the line. I said da 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 da, and then you were like, oh okay, da-da, and then you like kind of finished it, and I'm like, I wrote the line. And I'm like, no, I wrote the line.
He just doesn't want to admit it.
I wrote that line.
Anyway.
It's
So-
because it's a death metal line. You can't write death metal. I write death metal.
Is it devastating? Is it one of those cutting, or is it the
the
twisting
cutting.
of the
It's
knife?
the
Gutting.
cutting and gutting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that's so rough to listen to because you can
One of
imagine it. That's the worst part about it, and the best, of course, as well.
It's funny because what it originally was, because like that pre-chorus, it's got a cadence. It's like
Da 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 da.
and then it was like that third line. It was still the same. Like, no, we gotta change that third line. Like, let's just change the cadence and
Got
then
it.
bring it back on the fourth one.
Love it, love it, love it. Are you guys cool with listening to it right now?
Yeah,
Sure,
sure.
man, go for it.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, because I want to point out some lyrics that I personally feel, and I want to see if my interpretation of them have been correct or completely wrong from the beginning.
Your interpretation is always correct, Dan, because it's your interpretation.
Appreciate that. Yes, everybody, if you guys interpret music the way that you do, that is the way that you're supposed to listen to it. That is the truth. There is no way of being this is the be all end all situation.
I
It
am all
is
about the death
subjective.
of the author, man. Whatever it means to you, as long as you don't go out and like shoot John Lennon, like do your, let it be your thing, man.
Yes, shoot John Lennon. That is funny, hilarious. All right. So my biggest thing that I can say right now is as the world turns black and white. That is one of my favorite lines. Currently, I find the alternative, not the alternative, the counterpart of this song as something that I listened to when I was first getting into metal and new metal. So Alive, or Alive, I think it's called, off of Satellite by POD.
Yeah, that is kind of like that is like the opposite. It's like every day is a new day, everything's getting better, and this song is like the world is shit. Like,
Yeah, this is like I
Yeah.
feel so light. The other one, I feel so alive for the
yeah,
very
it's
first
literally
time.
the opposite. That's so funny. I
Yeah,
didn't think
so
about
that was like the first thing I thought of, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
copyrighted.
if I get the name wrong, that wouldn't surprise me that I would think that the song is called Alive, because I hear it in my head. I'm like, oh, it should be so alive, but instead it's
Yeah.
so light, and that's where it hit me so much harder. I was like, okay, because there's light at the end of the tunnel. You can perceive
Right.
it as that. You can also perceive it as weight lifting off of you. Like you were just saying, you
Mhm.
feel a sense of relief and you don't have that burden on your shoulders anymore. And so therefore you give into this darker side of you. It's just so damn well written, man. It is unbelievable. It is probably one of my most played songs of the year so far. I've listened to it
Wow,
at least
thanks,
15
man.
times. No problem at all.
Damn, that's awesome.
Oh yeah. Big
That's
contributor.
still less than me though.
Dude, what?
I literally
What
listen,
the
I literally
fuck?
listen to our songs like on repeat.
Let
just
me
to
not
help us.
stroke
Just
my
that- just-
chain.
No, but it's
while
also
I-
to help us,
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
no,
So
yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah,
all right.
But yeah, it's the black and white line was a Connor line actually.
Got it.
Yeah,
So-
see, I give credit to lines when people actually write them.
I wrote that fucking line, dude. I wrote that line. I know I did because like I said cutting and gutting, and then you're like, I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe we wrote half the line each. I don't know, but I know I wrote cutting and gutting. I know that because I've been wanting to put some like really dirty, gross lyrics.
Dark, disgusting,
It's not.
disturbing imagery. Yeah, holy shit, man. Well, here's the thing. You guys know how it feels because you listen to so much music and you know how metal and metalcore and emo like make you visualize it. And the fact that you guys not only captured that, but have still consistently made my ears ring with that chorus, and then still think about those lyrics, and then still have questions. That's the thing I love about it. It's like, it's not a long song. This is not the Bohemian Rhapsody. This is not, this whole on masterpiece. But to me, it is one of the most well-written, like original, like views of what you could say self-harm and suicide would be if you were a victim. And I love that it's a first person point of view as opposed to a talking about this person that committed suicide, like what is it, I Miss You from like Blink-182, like that kind of thing, like
Or like Adam's song. Yeah,
Adam's song. Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what
yeah.
you said about it being like a first person view. That's I think that's from our conversation where it was just me and Brad when we were trying to make up ideas on where to go with the song. That's like one of the things that we came up with is like it has to be one of those first person type scenarios, and it's not like an oh woe is me type song. It has to be like almost like the first person is thinking what they're doing is a positive,
Yeah.
in a way, and that's what makes the song even more dark.
Yeah, it's a false positive feeling. That is the thing, is it's more haunting than it is like scary, because the haunting thing, much like we were talking about Hitchcock, I can lead into this. You always have a tension, but it's a building tension, and it's not something where it's jump scare kind of horror. It's this building underneath, like, what is actually happening? What is the truth? What am I going to discover? What horrors await me when I get to the open door at the end of the hallway? And that is what light is. It feels like that. You're walking through this horrible circumstance with this person. You are this person. You're with this character, and this person is what I consider perfect for the choice of the girl talking in the beginning. I was like, oh, we're coming from her eyes. So I'm just like in a mental facility or something, because I'm talking to a doctor. I'm walking down the hall, and I'm consistently believing that this is the best choice, is to take my own life. It's crazy.
And it's crazy too. Like, what got her there was like, oh, I didn't have any worries.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, that was the thing that kind of triggered in my mind. Like, fuck that.
Psychopath, sociopathic tendencies. You have no remorse for your actions. You don't feel anything anymore.
It was super metal.
Yeah, it was metal as fuck.
That's why we had to use it.
But no, honestly, I love the everything about this song. We're gonna listen to the whole song right now, you and me, all together. I'm so pumped. We will hear the good version. Your side is, I'm sorry, it's gonna be like flangy as fuck, but whatever.
Let's do it.
Let's get it in.
Make sure you play the intro first.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
I can't even listen to the song without the intro.
Exactly how I feel now. Yes, it is so important. Like I said, you have to listen to this whole EP, honestly, from beginning to end. Like, it tells a story. All right, here we go. I Feel So, first track, and then we're going right into Light. And I love that you guys did that. I Feel So Light. So smart.
Thanks.
Okay. You can see it, right?
Clever. Yes, yes, we can.
Good.
You have been here a few days now.
Since Saturday.
Since Saturday. And why did you come in here?
Because I attempted suicide.
You attempted suicide?
Yes.
When did you do that?
Wednesday.
Could you tell us why? Or what made you feel you did?
Well, I didn't have any worries.
Unbelievable. So damn
Thanks,
good.
man.
This
Dude,
thing's
you know
still
what's so funny? We were on the live stream last night with Brad, like, listening to some of the isolated parts. You know what part of the song sounds like fucking garbage isolated? Is the lead guitar in the chorus, which is so funny because as a part, it kind of makes the chorus what it is. That do 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 do, like that, like, makes the chorus, but on its own, it sounds like ass. Like, it only sounds good in the mix.
Oh my God. Oh, well, I see here, you guys are critics of your own work, but for us fans, we're feeling everything you're saying. We're feeling everything you're thinking. We're feeling all the musical parts of it, much like I showed you with One More Light when I sent that to you guys with the story. I said, like, I want to get that feeling, and I'm glad that you brought up Chester, because it is one of the most challenging deaths of a celebrity. Like you said, with Robin Williams, many other people, it's nearly impossible to read what those people are thinking, and it's right before it happens. Like, you have that little bit of time. Jason David Frank, my favorite Power Ranger as well, same exact situation. There was no indication. He was just having a good time with his fans. I saw him that year, and like, that's your childhood heroes. That's Chester for you, Tommy for me. Like, all of these people are like part of us. And so seeing that they're hopeless, it then gives us the impression that we should be hopeless. And I hate that. That is the worst part of this whole argument of, like, don't talk about it, is because we don't want it to happen to someone else. But if it's not talked about, we'll never get anywhere. We'll never grow as people. We have to discuss it. We have to expose these thoughts, these feelings. Like I was talking about last night on the stream, it's like, this is consuming you. You are not supposed to give into this mentality. This is not the justified way of thinking. The light is not the way that you need to go. You don't want to have light lifted, You don't want to be lifted out of this. This is not the way. So let me go through some lyrics here. I had to type them in as I was listening because I was like, okay, these are the ones that like hit me the most.
If
Poison.
DistroKid wasn't such a piece of shit, you'd have the lyrics up on Spotify, but they suck at getting up. They take like a month to get the lyrics up, but the lyrics are up on the YouTube. So if you ever
Okay,
need
they're
them,
on YouTube.
that's where they're there.
Okay, cool. Because yeah, I was looking yesterday. I was like, can I check it out on like Genius or something? And I couldn't find it anywhere. But so these are the ones that stick out to me the most. There's Poison. So it's like poison in your veins. Stretch out my skin to tear it out. That is such a fucking violent act, but at the same time, it's like knowing there's this darkness inside of you, this self-awareness, but still knowing that you're following through on this action. It's just so traumatizing. It's so opposite of what you would think is supposed to be written. Like it's so well done, man. Like seriously, you guys are not saying that this is the best choice. You're saying that this is the last resort and you never want anyone to go there. It's just this proving it. It's not a good decision. So
yeah, that was a line. When I first showed that to my partner Addie, that was like, she was like, Jesus Christ, and I was like, hell yeah, we're going there, dog. We are going there.
Yeah, and for all of you funny people out there that are going to make a joke out of suicide and everything like that, and you're going to be like, emo kids, always emo kids, shut the fuck up. That's all I gotta say. Next part, we have It's the Season to Hurt the Ones I Care About. The fact that you're following through on this demonic, I can't say demonic, it's just it's an action that you feel hopelessness and you literally have no other way of escaping from that feeling. But it is the awareness that all these people that have always been there for you, you can't even be around them and feel that escape. There is nothing there. As I was talking about on the stream last night, it's like it tells you repeatedly that this is the only answer. And that's the scariest thing for anybody that I've talked through this kind of situation. They feel like this is the only way. And I'm like, listen to me. How could it possibly be the only way? That you're so young, you have so much life to like go through. There's so many things that are going to challenge you more than this situation right now. Like, don't give up tonight. Don't go to sleep with this mindset. Like, let's do whatever we can as people to help those people that are in that time. And it is challenging. These lyrics, they always make me think of those people because I'm like, man, I'm getting a first person perspective, and I appreciate Alex for pointing that out. Like it is supposed to be that way, but it's like it hits so much harder because it is first person. It's like this empathetic way of looking at self-harm. We never have this in music. It's always the aftermath or the, oh, I should have known they were sad, or like post-traumatic from Mike Shinoda. Like it doesn't dive that deep, even though he could have. It doesn't dive that deep. You guys went all the way there, and like you were just saying with your partner, yeah, we're going in, and it's true. And so let's talk about this part. This story's all I know, but it's getting old. Oh my God. Your whole life is a story. What a wonderful way of representing what life is. Life has a beginning and life has an end. And all the beginning through the end, you are learning things. You're going page by page. You're writing your own chapters, and you're tired of this story. You want to skip right to the ending. That is unbelievably well written. So who wrote that part? Thanks,
man. Those are all me.
That's all you.
Yeah. That's all me, man. Yeah, I appreciate it, dude. It's I will say I've been fortunate enough. I haven't dealt with any kind of suicidal thoughts since I was like maybe 17, but like I remember what it felt like, and also I like with anybody else deal with mental health shit, you know. So it's just channeling a lot of those. I think like I mean, we all have vices, and I think like probably my biggest vice is maybe my temper, but probably my second worst vice is like when things get too hard or whatever, I tend to like disengage from it. I tend to just disconnect, and that can be its own like really bad thing. You can hurt people, a lot of people in your life if you're not present, if you're not there for them, if you don't care about what's going on around you. So you know, tried to capture that a lot. I don't know if I'd ever go into saying like I've ever had depression. Really, I definitely have really bad anxiety. I struggle with really high levels of anxiety. Um, but definitely get into episodes where, like you said, it's like the world feels like it's in slow motion or it's in black and white, you know, and you can't really like you know that you should be interested in things, you know that you should care about things and everything, but you just don't, right? And you just kind of give up, and it's not a fun place to be in.
Yes, and since you brought up black and white, I didn't type that one out because I didn't need to. That's one of the hardest lines for me. So how I originally perceived it is that in the traditional sense, you could say, we learned like reading what was that book called? Do you know the one that has no color? I cannot remember the book right now. But we read it all in school. It was about like an apple. Like that was like red in this colorless world.
Oh, no, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
Right? Yeah. Editor Man Dan here. That book is called The Giver. I believe I read that in 4th grade. So you discover color over a period of time, and you discover that there are things that are different about each and every situation and each and every person. As many people have said metaphorically, things aren't easy as black and white. Things aren't easy as black and white. You can't see it as black and white. So it makes sense that if you were to be in a state where you can't understand what is reality, you are now creating your own reality. Everything is black and white. Everything is do or die. Everything is this is the answer. So that's how I took it.
Dude, that's a great interpretation of it. That's so cool. That was like not even like my intent, but that's such a cool interpretation of that line. That's wow. That's
and
really
then I
cool.
was also thinking in the much gorier metal way, if you can, Alex, we would then take our own life, and the last thing that we would see out of our eyes would be a colorless world.
See, that's where I was going with it. That's where I had it originally, but I like kind of all of it. All of those make sense.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Perception is crazy.
Yeah. But that's what I was picturing when that line was like, when you're kind of like those last little moments before it's all fade to black. Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. In the worst way.
Yeah, in the worst way. Yeah.
This is not proposed to be a good idea or anything of that sort, but it is extremely artistic, and it is something that should be looked forward to in the society that we have of censoring this type of thinking and this type of speaking and this way of choosing to actually discuss this, as opposed to dodge it and be like, oh, well, I like that song, but it's just so scary and sad. I don't want to talk about it. You need to talk about it. There are people that are going through this every single day right now at this moment, that all they need is a little call, and maybe you can get some empathy from this song. Maybe you can hear that exact same message that I heard, and you can reach out to that person and be like, yo, what's up, man? What's going on? You okay? Yeah. That's a fucking life-changing, and that's what music is supposed to be. It's supposed to be something that impacts all of us in one way or another. It's subjective opinions, it's perception, it's everything that I love, and this is why I know this is one of the best bands in the world, because they've written this at the highest point in their career, and they're gonna keep growing from here, and they see it as just another song. That's amazing to me, because that means that you can only improve from this point. They're still probably critically like, well, we should have written it like this, or we should have done this, but they're not worried about that. They're seeing me right now. They're smiling because they're like, look at this. Look at this. This is somebody that gets it, and I didn't take it in that way. I didn't think about it that way. That's what I love. We're creating a connection, and we're talking about something that is extremely challenging to go through these days.
Well, I think it's like, I mean, this is one of the coolest things about art, is that like light exists as a thing in the world now, like the song, and it means, you know, it means to you something so different than it means to Alex or Connor or whatever, right? And it like, that's like such a cool thing that this thing can turn into something so personally for you, right? Because I have moments too of like, there are songs where like, I don't care what the interpretation was. I don't care what the songwriter meant or whatever. Like, I know what it is in my head, and it means so much to me in my brain as this thing, you know? So it's like, I don't know, it means a lot that you know, have taken it and internalized it, and it means something to you, man.
Oh yeah, man. I hope that my fans are hearing this the same way and they'll be like, "Holy shit, Dan, great point." Cuz that's what I want. I want people to hear it and be like, I disagree. I want this." And I could be like, "Let's discuss. Let's discuss. Let's discuss," because like this whole song is just unbelievable. It's the one of you know what? It's probably my favorite song currently right now. But I love
Nice.
Ashes, and we will definitely go into Ashes next because that song needs to be talked about. We'll figure out the fun stuff at the end. I think BMM would go really well, and then we'll talk about Breaking Benjamin, Linkin Park. But I wanted to focus on these two deep ones first. So next lyric I got here, your favorite, Alex, cutting and gutting every little piece of hope. Holy shit, man. What do you
Whoever
think?
wants to take credit for that, I mean, I just well, like it was originally just what I thought it should be is just a different cadence for that specific line, and because how's the first two parts go? It's
Take away
Away
this heavy load. Take away what I fear most.
and then
And then
the original line was
cutting every piece of hope. That
Yeah.
was the first. Yeah.
yeah, that's what it was. So maybe you did, but I had the gutting. There you go.
It was probably both of us.
Yeah. So cutting and gutting every little piece of hope. I just thought like just having that extra
Cutting
like
and gut. Yeah.
extra little act of violence kind of hammers in the idea of like killing at that piece of hope.
Well, I'll go
inside.
by the English words. It's adjectives that you added. You made it even more
Yeah.
even more
random.
visual. Yeah, it's more visual than that original one. I mean, I like what you said, but I do see how that added to it and it made it even more intense. It intensified
Yeah.
that situation. And cutting and gutting every little piece of hope. Like literally, you have nothing left. Little pieces of hope are the only things that you have left to hold on to, and you're destroying even those. You have completely lost yourself. You're completely like you abandoned what you know as reality. That's freaking amazing. Unbelievable writing overall. Poetic
Thanks,
as fuck, man.
Thanks.
And then obviously bleed out every reason. Bleed out every reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I'll come up with these lines and I'll be like, that's like a little too dark for where we're going. And this is one of those songs where it's like nothing was too dark. It just had to be like not stupid. Like it couldn't be stupid, but I was like, this one I got to just whatever really fucked up thing came into my head, I could just write it.
Do you know a lot of songs have really dumb lyrics? A lot of good songs have really dumb lyrics.
Yeah, but I don't like to have dumb lyrics.
But as long as it sounds good, then it matters.
You're right. In some contexts, you're absolutely right. That totally
Dude,
works.
Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana
Is nothing.
The
It's literally
entire
nothing.
song is
Yeah.
so dumb.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the lyrics mean absolutely nothing.
but you know what? I don't ever want
if
to
he-
do that though.
If he switched out a word in there,
It wouldn't
it
matter.
literally wouldn't have mattered. But at the same time, if he made the lyrics like meaningful, the song probably wouldn't have banged.
Well, for me, every song is kind of like a diary entry. So I try to make everything as meaningful as possible. I don't want to just put whatever out.
Love
Saying
it.
sounds
Love
good.
it. By the way,
Yeah,
Brad,
That's how you originally thought that line was. Oh, I don't know if that's gonna work because that's not what I'm trying to portray. But I'm like, dude, it's gonna sound sick though. And then when we recorded it, it's like, all right, it sounds sick.
so Brad, as a pop punk fan, since you were just talking about like every lyric matters, can you tell me what the fuck Sugar We're Going Down is about?
No, I can't. I honestly can't. But it's fun. It's a good
It's
song.
really fun.
It's a good song. Yeah.
It's-
Well,
I was
okay,
trying
wait,
to
hold
listen
on.
to it.
There is the whole like I think it's like his girlfriend or who he was into got up with another guy and he's like stalking them and stuff. Because there's the whole like I'm watching you two from the closet, wishing to be the friction in your jeans.
That's true.
So, like,
That's true.
yeah,
That part
yeah.
is lyricist.
There
But
you
you
go.
go to the chorus and like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, I have no idea. Loaded God complex, cock it and pull it. Who cares?
It's crazy. Either way, so let's go on to the next track that is one of the heart-wrenching ones, and it was the most personal for you to write. We think we talked about this on the first interview, and that song is Ashes, and it is currently your best overall Against the Sun sounding song, in my opinion. unless you guys
Thanks.
want to continue the light pattern. But this is
Thanks,
fucking
man.
awesome.
Thanks,
Incredible.
dude.
No
Yeah,
problem.
that one was obviously about my mom who passed away. It's kind of like it should have been raining part 2, which was a song we put out a really long time ago, and that one was about my mom passed away, but that was like a very it was almost like a Wonder Years song where it was just like kind of telling you what happened, because I felt like the just telling you the story of the concrete details of how that went was kind of all I needed to say right there. It just kind of perfectly illustrated everything. This one was, the big line in the Should Have Been Raining song is like, I forgive you. It's very reconciliatory and whatnot. And I had a lot of people reach out to me who might have known my mom or something, be like, oh man, I'm so glad you patched up things with your mom before, like, she passed away. And the reality is that, like, I kind of didn't, there's art exists in extremity, so like you have to kind of like pick a position and really go for it. And so I felt like there was always a side of that relationship that It Should Have Been Raining never really explored, which is that like there was still a lot of anger, there was still a lot of resentment, there's still all that. And so Ashes was the opportunity to tell that other side. But like even with all that, it's not like every line in Ashes is like, it's not like Cleaning Out My Closet by Eminem, right?
True.
Right. There is stuff in there that like there is love there. There is, there's disappointment, but especially when we hit the major key in the bridge, right? Like it does show some love and everything. So it is complicated in the song itself. And I think like, I guess it's like taboo, I guess, to like, I don't know. I guess some people could take it as like, really, you're gonna write a song like bashing your dead mom, which like I guess is like a little weird, but also like, it was just part of life, and it was something that really affected me. So I just wanted to write about it.
No, it's extremely emotional, and the way that you wrote it and the way that it works. Like, I don't know, Bradbury is the one who produced that, right? So the way that the structure of this song goes, you would be like, it's any other awesome metalcore song. I love this. And it's
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, this is great. I could sing along to this. But then you learn the story of it, and you're like, oh, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like that is the oh shit song, besides Light, of course. And to finish off with it as the EP's closer, fucking great choice. Like seriously, thanks, the method that you guys did to come up with each and every song in the pattern that it is, it's just perfect. But
Thanks, man.
The song, much like Light, has softer vocals from you. However, the guitar work on this one, as opposed to the other songs, is very heavy. And those bass lines are fucking awesome. Like really damn good shit. Like I love metalcore and it goes there, and I love hard rock and it goes there. And the chorus is unbelievably catchy, and it sticks in my head, and it's still in my head as we are speaking right now. It's nonstop, man. And there were some days where I was listening to Where It Lies to prepare for the interview, and I kept thinking about Ashes, and I was like, oh, no, that's not them. That's not them. Because I was about to be like, wait. And I was like, no, wait, never mind. That's not, no.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man, I love it. I literally love it. I think that it's great that it has such a great message, and it's one of the best songs you've ever made. Like, it is literally what I consider the Against the Sun sound.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. I think it's as far as songs that come off live, I think it's one of the best songs we do live.
Definitely because of that ending. Like, dude, the outro that is not on the record, but when we play it live, like, it feels so like final and like triumphant when we get into that point. I mean, other than the song itself, like of course, like when we first heard like the demo of the song, like I was like, this is like our next best song. Like this is the song.
Yeah.
Like that's how I felt when I first heard it. And I'm like, this is it. And then, it tweaks here and there. And then like we should end every show with this song until we write a better song. And it's just a simple ending that we do, but it lasts for another like minute or minute and a half, and it's so much fun to do every time.
We go through the chord changes at the end maybe like 8 or 10 times, but then like Brad starts like soloing over it all, and then Connor gets progressively faster with his drums, and it just is this big crescendo moment until the final chord hits. So it's really fun. But like live for me, it's always the first drop. It's like right after the intro, when everything kicks in. That drop always feels so good live. It feels great. It's like everybody knows the beat, everybody's bobbing the heads, everybody's doing it. Like, it feels great.
Hell yeah. No, I can see that track would have a killer outro. And it is one of those songs where it's like, show off that bass part, show off the drums. It's like the one where they repeat the chorus, and everybody's having a great time. And then the lights go down and they come back up, and it's like, all the cymbal crashing. Yeah, fucking awesome. That is exactly what I would have expected for that song. And I'm glad that not only does it finish the EP, but it also finishes your set in most places, like you said, until you have something else. How do you feel as like the writers and the creators of JAD? How do you feel that the amount of like talent has increased in just a couple of years, to the point where like these songs are so well structured, so impactful, and so kick-ass at the same time? Like, do you feel like you're doing it, or do you feel like, oh, I'm just getting started?
Dude, that's a really great question. I mean, thank you for one. I feel like I am making the music I always wanted to make. You know, I feel like when I was younger and writing stuff, you know, I didn't have the budget to properly record and mix everything. And also, like, I wasn't as good of a musician, so it was never what I wanted it to be. But like the music we put out over the past 3 years, but especially the past 2 years, like, this is the music I've always wanted to make, for me anyway.
Love it. What do you think, Alex?
I mean, I could piggyback off that. I mean, like, I personally, like, as someone who likes a lot heavier stuff, I mean, like, of course, that's where my inspiration into the band comes in a lot, is like, especially like BMM and JD and The Enemy. Like, those are like songs that like I really put in to, like, this needs to be heavy as fuck. And like, but then there's songs such as Ashes and Happy on the last EP, and even Video Games, because like I mean, we've said it before, like I didn't get it at first, but then I understood after we heard the first mix. And I've grown as a musician to understand, like especially at my role as a bass player, like where I fit in our sound, and the way how we have grown as a group, understanding what we need to do in our roles is very integral. And it's at least for this, it felt right in Silhouette, but I feel like it even felt even more right on these new songs that we did this year.
I love it. So you're expanding overall as a band. You guys are, you know, increasing in your talent, but at the same time you're exposing yourself to sounds and thoughts that probably would have never been in your mind as somebody that listens to very heavy music, like Lana Del Rey. Who the fuck? Why would you want that? And, you know, you're proving to yourself that maybe it is time to like open up to that idea, to see what you can do. And you guys can make it as heavy as you want. I mean, look at fucking Pop Goes Punk. I mean, that is what like the entire metalcore, post-hardcore, deathcore communities praise, and it's still fucking pop music, man. I mean, they can play around with it, and it's so damn good. And you guys fit that bill. I mean, if there's a new one, I want you guys on there.
Dude, I mean, we would love to. It's funny, this guy's like the big metal tough bro, Cannibal Corpse, whatever. But dude, the parts that he nails when we record shit are all the soft parts.
Yeah.
Those are all the part, like literally he did the first verse of Light in one take. That is the first take. That just perfectly, like right away. And the second verse, 2 takes. Yeah. That's it. That's all it was. You know?
But then BMM I did 3 takes. Straight through.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Like what? So because it was funny. Like we can get into that if we're gonna talk about BMM.
Yeah, BMM is definitely next.
Okay, then I'll save it for later then.
No, we're good. We're good. Let's go right into that. BMM is the track of all tracks when it comes to the metalcore heads. And you guys want to have some headbanging shit, and you're like, maybe I don't want to feel anything right now. I just want to kick ass. And that's it. This is the song. And it's like right before the second most devastating song of the album, and I love that. I love that it's right there, and it does bring the heaviness, and then you have that heaviness that also comes back in Ashes. But BMM overall is an ode to the greats of Killswitch Engage, All That Remains, Bullet for My Valentine. You can hear this is a love letter to metalcore, and I hope that it's not the end. I hope this is not like a send off, like, oh, that's it, we finished that sound, now we're moving on to this.
I mean, we still got some of them in the barrel, you know, some of those juicy riffs in the barrel. So, like for example, like this song, musically, not necessarily lyrically, it was just all about the riff. And like I originally wrote it a certain way, and then Brad's like, no, we gotta like just hammer on the money riff. The money,
dude. Okay, so there's this interview of Phil Anselmo, and he's talking about like, he's like, you know, most bands back in the day would save the money riff for the beginning or the end, but we saw how the money riff moved the people, so why not make the whole song the money riff? And when I heard Alex play the BMM riff, I'm like, that's the money riff, right? So we had to make like, you know, like half the song that riff.
Yeah. So yeah, like I originally, so what happened was is that Brad, our other guitar player, or the lead guitar player, I'm sorry, he had this one riff he was working on, and it was just, it's probably, I swear we have to do this song because it does not sound that similar. I just dumbed it down for BMM because it's just, I wanted to focus on just absolute like accents and just like just straight up downbeat shit. And well, Brad's is a little bit more like fluid sounding. But yeah, like he was showing me that riff and I'm like, I can't play this yet. And I just started messing around and I'm like, okay, this is kind of sick. And then I actually had the lead for BMM on the choruses. I had that for a different song originally. But then I was like, hold on, they're both in the same key. And so it's funny, we kind of, I kind of wrote like the lead for the chorus first before we actually wrote the rhythm for the chorus, because at least just the root note of it. So like when Brad came over to work on it, I only had it's a 4-chord progression, and it's I had the first 3 notes and it was just going back into it. So it's a 3-chord progression, but then I'm like, hold on, this doesn't sound right because everything's just moving too fast. So we just added another like bar of another note, and we're like, okay, well, we need to write a lead for that. And that, like I said earlier, for video games, like when I wrote the bass for like the first verse of video games, like I busted out right there when I need to write like a quick lead for the last part of the chorus, wrote it right there. Like it was just like I just had it. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Instant. You said 3 takes for this one, right?
Oh, on the bass, yeah. So what we did was I was kind of skeptical on how well I was gonna play it because it's fast. It's a very fast song, and Brad's just like, dude, just play it all the way through. Just play it all the way through. I'm like, okay.
Because usually we take it section by section, but like this was one of those things where like you just had to catch a vibe. And there's a thing about this song where like you need to be like a little pissed off when you're recording it. Like you just have to be in it, you know?
Yeah.
And you just had to let yourself be in it. And that's just, you know, that's where the magic was going to happen.
And of course, yeah, we snipped parts together from all those 3 takes, but the best part is that it was the first take that had the most like shit in the track, which is fun to admit. Other than that, I mean, I wasn't there for recording guitars, but I assumed that was fun. I mean, shit, he finally had his like first guitar solo on a song in a very long time.
Yeah, the first half of the solo is me because these guys were like, "You've never done a guitar solo for this band. You need to do a guitar solo." And
Well,
I'm
didn't
like,
you back in the old stuff at least?
like
before-
No.
Oh, I thought you did do some of the guitar solos.
That
Okay.
was all my buddy Chris.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we were like, dude, do a guitar solo. Like this is a perfect like 2 guitar solo like part. Like
Well, it was funny because Brad couldn't come up with anything. He was like, I can't figure out what to do here. And for some reason, I was able to hear a note or two, and I was like, okay, I'll take a stab at it. I honestly, like, I didn't think it was going to be in, but the guys were like, no, just do a guitar solo. We'll do trading guitar solo. And, like, I'm not nearly as good of a lead guitar player as Brad is. So I was like, well, I don't know why you guys want to keep this in there. But I think it is cool.
no, I
No.
think it fits the vibe.
Yeah.
My only critique, and I wish we no, it wasn't on your playing. It's not on your playing. My only critique is that we should have told Brad to make both your tones just a little bit different.
Oh, that's fair. So you could hear their 2 different
Yeah,
players.
like
That's,
so like for example, Megadeth, like Dave Mustaine, he's the rhythm guitar player, but he's also a killer shredder. Like he's one of the best shredders in the world as well. But then he has all his other guitar players at different points of time.
Mhm.
And it's always been the lead guitar player that isn't Dave Mustaine usually has a very clean tone, and then Dave Mustaine's tone is a little bit dirtier. And I wish, especially the way how your solo is played, should have been a little bit dirtier.
I agree
sounding.
because it has a bit more space to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
And then of course with Brad's, because it's so like
Virtuosic. Yeah, it
like
needs to
that
be
makes
clean.
sense to
Yeah.
be cleaner.
Yeah.
I wish I would have picked that up like right when we were getting mixes sent back to
Bro,
us.
Yeah.
I promise none of us noticed.
I know people like nitpicking this
I know.
fucking crap.
Yeah, no, but it's awesome, and I mean, you can use that moving forward. But I was just gonna say, and this actually segues kind of perfectly. Brad was breaking new ground. He was coming up with something that was really just explosive energy, and with explosive energy, we got to talk about the band that's on Brad's shirt right now, which is Breaking Benjamin. One of the greatest of the all time, I think, is what I consider them. I think Breaking Benjamin's return to music, and I'm not going to take away BMM or anything like that. I'm going to say this. Breaking Benjamin has a damn good sound that you would expect from hard rock. And Against the Sun's BMM is a damn good sound you get when you listen to good metalcore. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Both of these bands are unbelievable with picking up on the original sound that you would expect from it and amplifying it to the core. So most metalcore heads are going to be like, it's just another metalcore song. But for me, I really enjoyed hearing that side of them again. We had some nice soft songs on the last one. We were talking about Happy and other songs as well. And it's nice to just have these headbangers, man. And I really appreciate this track overall. But at the same time, I got to talk about Breaking Benjamin's new single. What did you think as a fan? What do you think of their return, man?
Dude, okay, so you have Breaking Benjamin is my favorite band of all time. Like they are the band for me. I'm gonna pass it to you first. What did you think of the new song?
Okay. Well, let me piggyback off of what you just said. Breaking Benjamin created my favorite band's sound, so I'm also a humongous fan. However, I have not had as much time with Breaking Benjamin. I can go through their older stuff and not feel it as much as the older fans could before Phobia. But Phobia, unbelievable album. Red End of Silence, unbelievable album, a month or two apart. Like it was like made to be. And also one of the guitarists of Breaking Benjamin was originally with Red as well, so it's like they connect. But my opinion, when I heard that, I didn't know it was coming. I was just sitting with my parents and I was like, okay, I think we listened to all the music we need to today, and all of a sudden YouTube notification, brand new song from Breaking Benjamin. I'm like, what?
Yeah, you got it, right?
Like Aurora was like the last thing that we had, and that was like these acoustic mixes of all of their stuff. So I was like, okay, what am I in for? What am I gonna hear? Because I've only heard Ben on Starset's song that they did together, and I was like, okay, can this work? Are we getting the old Breaking Benjamin back? And it was exactly that. It was Phobia, Breaking Benjamin, coming back in to show their talents, and everybody that thinks they're boring or whatever, it's like, listen, if they didn't do that, if they didn't walk, Red couldn't run, Sleep Token
Right.
wouldn't exist, Starset came from Red, so they wouldn't exist. Like, you got all these bands that are contributing from Breaking Benjamin's success, so please give them the props in the world. They were amazing, and they still are, and I love that they went a little heavier. I just hope that it gets heavier as it goes on, because Ember was fucking awesome.
What?
Should I
Do what?
should I be honest in my opinion of the new song?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Generic.
Dude, okay, so again, here's the thing. Breaking Benjamin is my favorite band of all time. I truly love it. I love every record. I really do. I wanted to like this new song. I really, really wanted to like this new song, but I think for anybody who like is not as into Breaking Benjamin, it's a phenomenal intro song because it is like what they are to their core. But as a person who like has almost every single one of their songs saved onto my Spotify, there's like 87 of them, right? Like, to me, I felt like they covered this ground before and they kind of did it better in other iterations. In my personal opinion, like, I just like a lot of the ideas, I'm like, yeah, okay, like that's the idea. I get it. And then I was kind of scared when I got done listening to it. I was like, shit, do I not like Breaking Benjamin anymore? So I went back and I listened to the whole Ember record and I was like, no, this still slaps. Like, I still love this. I listened to the Dark Before Dawn record. I just feel like it was Breaking Benjamin. It was their sound, but I also think that they need to do a little bit something different. They got to give me something that I haven't heard before a little bit. Cause like, I hate to be whatever about it, but it kind of felt like as if AI made a Breaking Benjamin song. Like if you ran every Breaking Benjamin song through AI and told it to write you a Breaking Benjamin song, it would have given you the new Breaking Benjamin song.
100%.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How many songs are on your Breaking Benjamin playlist?
I want to say 87.
That's 80 too many.
No, it's not, dude. No, it's not. Their second record, the one with So Cold on it, is like, it's like top 3 albums of all time for me. I fucking love it.
Full disclosure, I am not a Breaking Benjamin fan. Like, I did not grow up on butt rock. There are a lot of butt rock bands that I really do like, which is Chevelle.
Yeah, that's the one we really agree.
Yeah, that's
we
the
both
one.
really like Chevelle.
Chicago.
Yeah,
then
exactly.
There is an ironic but also not ironic love for like Creed. Like,
yeah,
there's times where it's like, yeah, the band sucks, but then it's like, dude, these songs.
He likes the butt part of butt rock.
Yeah.
Like he likes Creed, Buck Cherry,
And
fucking
no.
Puddle of Mud.
I only like one song by Buck Cherry because it's, dude, come on, it fucks, dude. It's such
God, that's the way you fuck.
dude, it's so silly, and I love it. Like they just went for it. It does its job. It does its job, and it does it well, and that's why it's good.
Dude, I wish so. When we came back from the last show, we were only listening to shit to your new metal.
Dude,
on the way back
oh
home.
my god, dude, we were playing Dope and shit. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is my Dope song, and it's just like the song that is from. And the reason why I love it so much because I love Fast and Furious, the first movie.
Oh.
And that song's in that movie, and that's like it always brings me back to watching that movie when I was 6 years old.
Dude,
Oh my God.
so when we were driving back on Sunday night from the Where It Lies show, I forced Addie to listen to all of the shit to your new metal shit that we were listening to.
Oh my god!
And like, what's so funny is that at the end of the car ride, she's like, "Here's the worst thing about shit to your new metal is that it doesn't matter how bad it is, it's gonna get stuck in your head,
yeah,
no matter what." And I'm like,
go.
Did you guys
Go, dude! Cold Chamber's awful.
Did you guys
No,
play
they
Saliva?
have some songs. They have
Dude,
some
they're
songs.
fucking bad.
Did you
dude.
play
I can't
Saliva?
believe at the time. What?
Saliva?
No, Cold Chamber.
Oh, did you guys play Saliva though for shit tier?
We did not play Saliva.
No, yeah, we didn't.
That would have been totally permissible as well, but
We put on Cold Chamber, and I just remember, like, obviously I was too young at the time, but when you look back at it, like, of like how music was at that time, it was literally Cold Chamber or Slipknot, and like at the time, and because like they were both starting brand new bands,
Yeah.
while like Limp Bizkit and Korn were already kind of big at the time, but it was like Cold Chamber and Slipknot. Which band's gonna be bigger? And it's like obviously like you saw what happened. And it's just funny, like to think about it. That like, wow, people thought this was like comparable.
Yeah, what's really crazy is that Corey
Watch, we're never gonna
Taylor's
get a gig with them ever.
side band.
Yeah, they're gonna find out that we hate Cold Chamber, and everyone's gonna like fucking blacklist. We just foregoed our spot at Sick New World.
I know.
There goes Sick New World. Yeah, you're never
Hey,
gonna be lined up on that.
You know, they've done something that we haven't done, as so millions of records. And,
No,
you
yeah.
know,
Here's the thing, man. I actually fuck with some Cold Chamber songs. There's like 2 Cold Chamber songs that I love. So Fiend will always fuck no matter what.
you know,
Okay.
it's funny.
Sounds
I know. I actually kind of like the Ozzy one a little bit.
You went back and listened to it.
I did.
Oh.
I think Ozzy sounds good on it. That's why.
All
And I
right,
think that's what makes the song better.
Brett,
There you
as a
go.
butt rock fan, what do you think of Crossfade coming back?
Dude, I enjoy Crossfade actually. I am a big butt rock guy. Like that's my first and that's my favorite genre. But yeah, Crossfade's cool. I don't like a ton of their songs, but the songs I do like, I like love. And it's not just the bit, like everyone knows you know, well, I really meant to say, like everyone knows that one.
Yeah.
But like there's some other like kind of deep cut bangers on that first record of theirs. Like one is called like So Far Away. That one's so
Yes.
good. That one's
Yes.
such a good song. Yeah.
Oh,
my God.
Stained. That's another like butt rock band that I love. I love. You know, it's funny. I gave that new record a listen. It's so much better than the first time I heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually really like it.
Good.
It's just you can tell with Aaron Lewis, he's getting older, so he can't like
Yeah.
hit the high register. So they had to tune even lower, but you know, it's still good.
Alex,
Yeah.
I want to thank you. You gave me a perfect segue. We were talking about nuanced perspectives on music. Let's talk about the new Linkin Park, shall we?
Yes. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So
let's
you
do
were
it.
so critical to say many times about like Breaking Benjamin should really change their style up, and as you might have seen on my stream, I had some very critical thoughts of their new track sounding pretty much like their old stuff when we had come from One More Light as the last album. So I was like, oh well, we went back to a different direction that Chester didn't want to go, and now we're with Emily. I don't know if I like this. I've overall come with the idea that Mike is part of Linkin Park and whatever he does is pretty much ingenious. And so much like I will say about Breaking Benjamin, I'll say this about Linkin Park. If you judge it by the first single, you're always wrong. That
Yeah,
happens
yeah.
every time. We are like, oh, new song. Oh, this album's going to be shit. Happens every single time. So I'm hoping Breaking Benjamin will change your mind, but I'm hoping in my mind that
Oh, dude, I'm
was-
still listening to the new record. when it
Okay,
comes
good,
out.
good, good.
There's,
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Like, no, I mean, I know that I know that I will probably like most of the songs that are come out on the record. Like, it is very, very rare that I come across a Breaking Benjamin song that I don't like. I'm telling you, across their like 6 records, there might be like literally 6 songs I don't like by them. So trust me.
That's six
Unbelievable.
Shut the fuck up.
6 songs too many, he said.
Oh,
Yeah,
too
it's
little.
Too little.
whatever.
Oh.
Dude, okay, so the Linkin Park. Have you listened to it yet?
It's only 2 songs out, right?
Emptiness
Okay.
Machine and Heavy as the Crown, yeah, which also took
So-
place of Daughtry's song. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know they were
So-
going to choose the same song title.
So it's funny. You know what I did when those songs came out? I didn't listen to them right away. I waited. I actually played it the way where like I'm like, all right, I'm gonna wait till all the hate happens, because I have noticed sometimes when there's a really big change in a band. Well, obviously with Linkin Park they have a different singer now. Not only is it not what's his name from Sum 41, which I originally wish it would have been. Those
Derek.
rumors made so much sense at the time.
Yep.
I know it's a singer that I've never really heard of, but I know she's big. What's her name?
Emily Armstrong.
Yeah,
there
where
we
is she
go.
from again?
She's from Dead Sarah.
Okay, yeah.
I hadn't
Yeah.
heard of that
Yeah,
band.
I've heard the name. I don't know any song, but I know like they're big and they're good. That's all I know about Emily.
Mhm.
Anyway, so I went into it absolutely like I'm gonna wait till like all the hate or the love is done, and then I'm gonna give it my own listen. I actually like the songs. I actually really do like the songs. My problem with them though is because my like love for Chester's vocals. It's just this isn't Linkin Park to me.
Mm.
Like it's just like like you can't like it's hard for me to grasp that. I'm not saying it isn't Linkin Park,
Yeah.
but it's hard for me to grasp that reality that it's someone else singing. And not only like it has nothing to do with that it's a different singer, it's just the tone is so much different too.
Yes.
Like not only are you having a different singer, but it's also like Chester was very like growly, and like he had like just that scream, and he also had like that
Soft.
like especially on the earlier albums he had like a very like masculine tone. Now we have a girl who has, you know, feminine tones in her vocals, so it's just a totally different vibe, at least when you hear the vocals. But the songs themselves, the band itself sounds great.
Yes.
I also wish that they had these songs back when Chester was still alive, because the last album by Linkin Park I was not a fan of.
You know what's interesting is that I almost have the opposite perspective on it. I actually think the songs themselves are honestly kind of whatever. I like when I first heard the Emptiness Machine, I was like, yeah, that sounds like it could have come off of Hunting Party. I was like, yeah,
Well, that's the thing.
yeah.
I love Hunting Party.
Yeah, see, and I don't like that record. So
And
it's like,
really, then did you like the last Linkin Park album?
I liked a few songs off of it.
I thought every single song was bad. Like it just wasn't good.
Well, come on, like One More Light is like nice. It's a nice.
They
ballad.
shouldn't have made the album.
Wow! Wow!
I'm sorry.
The hottest of hot
Wow.
takes
I wasn't
over
one of those
here.
guys that was on the internet putting on hate comments on every single thing, but like everyone else was. But
Yeah.
I was like, you go from Hunting Party to that. I was like,
I
Come on,
thought
man.
it had some redeeming songs, but the new stuff I like. I feel like the songs are a little generic. They're like you said, they're kind of very much they're like the first one's off of Hunting Party, the second one is just like off of Meteora. Like
Yep.
it's just that's really what it is. But it was honestly the performances in the song that won me over. Like I was excited to hear new Linkin Park because I love Linkin Park and Linkin Park means a lot to me, but I wasn't like I was very ambiguous towards this new singer. I was like, I don't really have a preconceived notion going into this. I don't really care. Like, I'm just going to judge it by how it makes me feel.
Mhm.
And as soon as that first, the second chorus hits in the Emptiness Machine where she starts singing, I was like, I'm sold. I just, it was that quick. I was like, I love her voice. I think she's a great fucking singer. And the thing that really convinced me too is I had a buddy of mine that got to go to that show that
Yeah.
like no, the secret show.
yeah, wasn't that the form?
No, it wasn't at the Forum.
Oh.
It was at some random ass warehouse in LA. And only like you had to spend a fuck ton of money to get there. But he went. It was Aaron from Dusk.
Yeah.
Like he went there, and I got to see videos of her singing on his Instagram story, and I was blown away. I was just like, this is so fucking good. But what's interesting is if like I've seen videos of her posted on the Linkin Park page where she doesn't sound that good.
Well,
That's what I was gonna say.
That's what I was gonna say.
They
The Forum
did-
show, I was like all the original Linkin Park songs. I was like,
Kind of
this
missed.
ain't, yeah, this
Kinda
ain't it.
missed.
This ain't it.
But I know this from my own, like every time when I'm done with a show, there's a part of me that's like, that was one of my worst shows ever. Like there's always a part of me that does that. And like, I have had the experience of listening to my same performance from 3 different camera sources and it sounding completely different on each one, depending on just where the microphone was in the room.
Yes.
Like one story, I'd be like perfectly on pitch and sounding perfect, and the other, it sounded like I was so off pitch. So like, I don't fault her for that as much. Like that could be a mixing thing, it could be the microphone thing, and also like as a singer that sometimes struggles with consistency, some nights you just don't have it. Like it just is what it is. And some people are more consistent than others, and she might have a problem with consistency like I do.
Yeah.
But that almost makes me like root for her a little bit more because it's like I see myself as a singer in her, even though she's not perfect every time. I have seen videos where she has fucking just been flawless, like it gives me chills. So I know that she has it in her.
Mhm.
Whether or not she can bring it out of her every single night, I mean, you know, hopefully she gets better and hope I get better. And like we all strive for perfection. And there are people who are like, you know, robots and can do it every night. But like some of my, like dude, it's not like Ben Burnley sounds like fucking stellar every single night. It's not like
No.
the dude from A Day to Remember sounds fucking stellar
No.
every night.
Well,
Like
Red
I
does.
Yeah, I just like recently went and saw Rise Against. It's not like Tim
Oh,
is
God.
like singing like
So that is so funny. I saw Rise Against years ago with the Wolves album,
uh-huh.
2017.
And was he just phenomenal?
No, he was awesome.
That's what I said.
He
So
was
he's phenomenal.
awesome.
Yeah.
Saw him at When We Were Young last year, dude. Not only was he off, the band was off. Like, dude, there was
Oof.
like everyone was on a different metronome or some shit. It was weird. They were
Yeah.
not in sync.
So I haven't taken like I've heard the bad clips. I recognize they exist, but there's enough there for me to really like what's going on. Honestly.
I wanted to talk about consistency issues. So
Mhm.
like it hasn't happened to me, not because I'm always consistent with like how I actually sound, but my consistency issues is usually, okay, am I doing my vocals where I'm not destroying my voice?
Mm.
That to me is consistent because obviously like tonality fluctuates with screaming. Like you either have your lows or you don't. That's a whole different type of consistency. I haven't had the consistency that I'm talking about where I'm fucking up my voice.
Sure.
So that's like one of those, like, I think last time I had that was like a year ago. I forgot what show it was, but like I was like, dude, I was not like performing the way I should be performing.
Yeah.
While like the past few shows, I mean, like I've been right on the money with like my tone, at least not necessarily like, oh, right where the record is, but like, you
Yeah.
know, I'm not destroying myself while I'm doing it.
That's very
And that's
good.
like a totally like different thing that like Brad and I have to deal with. Like he has to be pitch perfect, like or close to pitch perfect for consistency. Me, I just focus on don't fuck up your voice the entire time.
Yeah, when you're doing backing vocals and growls or screams or anything like that you can add to a song, then you usually don't have to put as much full effort. Like when you're singing, people don't understand this. They're thinking singing is easy. Anyone can sing. It's not about singing. It's about the way that you deliver the song. It's about the way, like if you want to match a rapper, in this case I'll take Eminem. He's one of the most challenging ones to match. If you take his exact sound, if you match that, your voice hurts so bad afterwards because you didn't make that sound. That wasn't you. You're not the original. And no doubt his voice probably hurt as well, but he got comfortable with it. He knew what he was doing. I cannot rap along to Cleaning Out My Closet without taking multiple breaths between between lyrics that don't need to have that breath. It is so challenging, but these people, like they're structured that way, and Brad's probably structured the same way. Emily's going to have that structure. She's been very open about how she doesn't feel as comfortable yet, and she'll continue growing, which I was on board with that. I was like, thank you, for the love of God. She understands, and she's not going to be hated for that because she's not like, I'm the next best thing since Chester. Like that's never going to be in her mind. She just wants to, perform with her favorite band. And I love that perspective. And that's why I changed my mind on all of my hatred. My issue though, is that now they have to play in higher keys with the older tracks. And we were just talking about the live performance doing a disservice to her in some camera angles and some sound barriers and things like that. I really think it was a bad decision for them to put her through old tracks as the first thing that we get from her besides the Emptiness Machine. I think that was really rough on her, and I was extremely harsh as everyone else was because I'm just like, how could I not hear there's a huge difference here? How can I not admit that this Chester like wannabe is attempting these vocals, but they're not Chester? And like that's where it hits you to the core. But if they only did the Emptiness Machine and then performed the Emptiness Machine, no matter how people were feeling, it's like, well, this is something new. Let's see how it goes. They would have hated her regardless. But it's just those older songs. It's like, I don't want you to touch those. Those are like literal perfection. Do not touch it. Do not ruin it. Do not change it. However, now I will be hypocritical on this. I saw Linkin Park live in 2015. Chester was not perfect.
That's the thing, dude. That's the thing, and this is like we talked about this with one of our buddies did a Nirvana cover at the last show that we played at.
Kyle, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Kyle, and it was really good. It wasn't like there were parts, and then you were like, yeah, but dude, like how often did Kurt honestly perform his songs really well live? And that's the thing, like Kurt often fucked his stuff up, and that's the thing. If you watch, like there are live performances of Chester, like the AOL sessions for Given Up,
Mhm.
where he is literally flawless. It's one of the few times he did the Given Up scream in full, like it literally flawless. Dude, you watch a lot of other footage from him live, it's not like this dude has perfect pitch. This guy's fucking up too. Like people, like I think sometimes we sort of like, I get it. Like these songs mean the world to us, and that's absolutely true. And he's also is dead, so you don't want to shit or whatever. But it's not like Chester was like literally the perfect singer all the time.
No,
we can't judge them against like this idealized version we have in our heads.
Yes.
I'll say this too. Like, I mean, well, you were saying how like with this new singer, like this is like a Chester wannabe and all that. Like, and that's funny because like I look at this as like, yeah, this is like part 2, and you were also like, yeah, like the way how she's singing like all the old stuff, and like, yeah, like it's never gonna sound the same. But I'm actually like really stoked for the new stuff. Like
Same.
I'm not in love with the new stuff, but the fact that like I'm not in love with it, but I also don't like hate it, makes me like a little bit like more curious and excited. Like, okay, this means it's actually gonna probably be good, like something that I'll enjoy, not necessarily I'm a Linkin Park like I have to like everything by Linkin Park, because obviously I don't like the last album.
Yeah.
It's one of those like I actually understand like this is these 2 songs are actually really good. I'm not like totally like fangirling about it, but I know that it's gonna. I have a feeling the next album is gonna be really good.
Yeah, I agree. I think they like, as long as they, like you said, like don't try to make her be a Chester clone, and they let her do her own thing, I think it'll work really well. Like my mind goes to when, and this is another thing we could quickly mention, is the fact that Adam Gontier is back with 3 Days Grace, which is fucking sick. Like
unbelievable.
I know, it's like a dream. But like when Adam left and they got a new singer, Matt, like one of the biggest missed opportunities, like Matt is a very different singer than Adam. He's first of all, his range is a lot higher, and he naturally has a lot less grit on his voice. And I think some of the problems with the Matt songs is that they told him, you got to sound like Adam. You got to sound like Adam. And so he throws all of this grit on his voice that is super tacked on there and is not what he normally sounds like. Like, he listened to My Darkest Days. There's not a lot of grit on that stuff, And there are some songs and some sessions where you can hear his voice unencumbered by all that grit, and he just sounds fucking phenomenal. Like he really is a truly great singer. Yeah. He's just very different than Adam.
Well, Right, Left, Wrong, the first time I heard it on the radio, I thought it was Adam. Like he got me.
Yeah, exactly. Like they made him sound so much like Adam, and he still did a really good job. I like a lot of Matt songs. I think those albums are really good. I'm not shitting on it, but they should have just recognized this is a different guy. He has a different tone. He has a different range. And let's write shit that showcases him at his best instead of making him sound like Adam.
Question. The 3 Days Grace songs with Matt on it.
Yeah.
Have they ever been played on the radio here in California?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think as much, but
yeah. Because like, of course, like even on K-Rock, because K-Rock is like the big channel here in Southern California.
Yep.
And like it's been turning into just like pop.
Yeah, it's just pop.
But they will play old stuff.
Okay.
Such as 3 Days Grace, like the stuff that I know. Right, like I'm not a 3 Days Grace fan either, but I know the hits.
Right.
And like they will still play that stuff. However, I have never even listened to this guy Matt before.
Really?
So my question to you, Dan,
mm-hmm.
do they play this stuff, like Matt's stuff from 3 Days Grace on the radio?
Yeah. We have Will Rock, which is Wisconsin and Chicago. We spawned from, I think, Milwaukee all the way to Chicago. It's the clearest station that comes through, and Will Rock will play everything that is new. Like they got me into Bad Wolves back when they were just coming up in 2018. Nothing More, Bad Flower, and yeah, when 3 Days Grace was out, that was definitely Right, Left, Wrong. I heard that all the time, and I was like, "Damn, this guy is good! I can't believe Adam's back."
I had a conversation with #Warrior Dave, or shout out Warrior Dave.
Yeah.
He's like a local guy that like
he's a local legend.
Yeah, he helps everybody out, and he loves the music scene, and like he generally like cares about each other. But anyway, I had a conversation with him at the
Tiki Bar Show.
Tiki Bar show that Breaking Serenity was at. Was Where It Lies? No, Where It Lies didn't play, but Scarlet Siren played. Breaking
Yeah.
Serenity. Yeah. So I was at the show and I was talking to Warrior Dave. I'm like, you know what's funny? Like, Brad has told me that like the new 3 Days Grace songs with Matt are like, you know, they're big in other states, but I'm like, how come I've never heard of them though? Because like I do listen to the radio every
Mhm.
now and then, and like there just never new stuff from 3 Days Grace on there because they were like on rotation,
Yeah.
and I feel like there's a conspiracy going on,
It's
man.
no, it's crazy, man. It's literally the lead single off their last record was the most played song on rock radio. The
Which is
number
crazy.
one song on
Which
rock
is
radio
crazy. I
in
think there's
last year.
I think there's a conspiracy in California, man.
No, I agree.
Like they just won't play either just 3 Days Grace or regular like rock music.
Watch
on
it
the
be
radio.
anti-Canadian.
Yeah. No, there's 105.3 in San Diego does. That's like the
we
one
got-
station that I know of.
What about 96.7 in the IE? That's
KCal Rock, yeah, they do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's Mike Z.
yeah.
Yeah, he does that. Yeah, he plays that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I'm talking before him because he's usually
Oh.
late night, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, he's like 11 p.m. or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
I don't know.
have, one of those people. They're called Full Metal Jackie.
I think she was.
think
I
she
remember. I
plays
know
our
that
shit,
name.
actually.
No, yeah. No, Full Metal Jackie sounds very familiar. I feel like. Are you talking like she's like a radio?
Yeah, late night DJ.
Dude,
Full
I think
Metal
she was
Jackie.
here originally. That makes
Yeah.
so much. Full Metal Jackie
Yeah,
was on either 95.5 KLOS or K Rock at late at night.
yeah.
Crazy. And yeah, Will Rock is 95.1 over here.
Okay.
But yeah,
That's strange. Like I know that name, and it's been years since I've heard that name too.
yeah. So maybe she came from California originally and then moved over to Chicago to help out. I don't know when she started, but I loved Will Rock.
Yeah.
I would listen to it in the mornings. Much like you said, the pop radio is like what happens almost all the time. It's like, oh, this is too heavy. We can't play this for people. So Red finally gets on the radio. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to play a brand new song. And they play Gone, their poppiest track off of that new album. And I was like, oh my God, no. And so I'm like, okay, well, can we do Shadow and Soul? Can we throw Darkest Part? Can we do anything? And they're like, we're going to play Gone again and again and again and again. And I'm like, 3 a.m. Let's see, new Red song. Red is still playing Gone. Unbelievable. This is horrible. This is not what I want because that's not overall what you would interpret these bands to be. They're not that one single. Like I wouldn't be like, oh, Happy by Against the Sun. That's what they are. This is 100% them.
That's what happened to Stain, man. They had all the radio hits, and that's like not what they. I mean, it's what they ended up becoming because
Yeah.
it made them money, but it's not what they were. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude.
Either way, this was an amazing chat, guys. Seriously, I was so happy to have you guys back on. Unbelievable album, unbelievable music, unbelievable writing, unbelievable work overall. Cannot wait to see what we have coming next year. And I would love to have you guys back on one more time this year if you're interested. I want to get every single band from the Inland Empire on for a special Christmas episode. I'll have to individually put those little clips in, or if you guys can actually make it, I'll put it all together with Mike Z, and then we'll make it happen.
That would be sick, man. And keep eyes peeled for early next year, where you will get a deluxe version of the Light EP.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to hold my money just a little bit longer then. Cuz I want that I want that in my hands. I want to hold it with the new tracks, whatever that's going to be, or reimagined tracks or acoustic tracks. I'm down for anything you got. I'm so pumped for everything that you guys have done and will do in the future. I literally love you guys so much. I'm so happy that Breaking Serenity came into my life and gave me SoCal artists like you guys. I'm so happy.
Dude, the feeling is mutual, brother. It's always a pleasure talking to you, man.
Mutual.
Mutual?
It's
The feeling is
mutual, bruh.
mutual.
It's like collab. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell's wrong with you?
All right, we gotta go before we say more dumb shit.
Unbelievable,
Yeah,
guys. Thank you
thanks.
again for being here, and let's get the actual outro. Thank you guys for watching. This was an absolutely epic, amazing, and overall fruitful episode of the podcast. As I expected, round 2 with Against the Sun has now finished, and I'm so pumped for round 3. Thank you guys for being here. We love you so much. Have an awesome night, and stay safe out there. Peace.
Take care.
Everybody.